Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Yessa and today I have yet another sketchbook tour. This one is actually a sketchbook that I have had since 2018. It is quite old and you can tell because I have these blue tapes. I taped it because it was deteriorating, that when I pressed against it while I was doing art, it would leave marks on my desk and on my desk mat. So I taped the parts that were disintegrating, essentially. This is a Strathmore. I have honestly never seen a Strathmore owned by anyone that has reached this quality. I don't know if you can see it, but I have never seen anybody's sketchbook deteriorate quite like mine has. I've had it for 8 years, but even people that I'm pretty sure have a Strathmore that they've had for 8 years probably hasn't deteriorated like this, but mine chose to. This one I've had since 2018. I have been in and out of it on and off again. Haven't used it as frequently as I did when I first started and when I ended it, so you'll see those gaps in there, but very excited to have finished this one after so long, so why don't we jump right into it. So the very first one is an Inktober piece. When I used to try to do Inktober, this was back in 2018. I used to try to do Inktober all the time. I never ever finished one, I don't think. But this one was day one hibiscus. This was obviously October 1st. But I wanted to do this in here, apparently. I have tried to do Inktober a number of times. Like I said, never been successful. Even tried to do my own themes, even tried to do a digital version of Inktober because I was like, I'm more efficient with my digital art than traditional. Never did it. Never succeeded. I don't know what I was trying to do here, but my love for flowers was obvious from the beginning. Next one was palm leaves, and I didn't use the other side because another sketchbook that I had used to smear on the side, and I didn't like that, so I didn't do it. But this one was called Palm Leaves. Like I said, I don't know what I was going for when I first did this. I don't know why this is what came out of it. But I honestly always really loved and focused on drawing people. Granted, she actually looks quite nice for someone who cannot draw front-facing people anymore. I can only really draw like 3/4 profiles now. I think I was going to try to do some sort of story for this. I don't remember what it was. But this was a different set of prompts as well. I love doing clouds with pens. I don't know why. I mean, I always loved doing clouds, so I guess I continued that here. And then I did day 2 again on the same day. So I did 3 different Inktober prompts on one day. More clouds. Thank you. I don't know who these characters are, but good for them. And then day 3 was I Understand You. I don't remember where I got these prompts from. I'm gonna be so honest with you. This was 8 years ago. I don't remember where I got this from, but once again, the clouds with the pens does not match the rest of this, but it was an ongoing theme where I always wanted to include that apparently. Again, I Forgive You. Don't know what happened here. I also really love this teal marker. I think it was a Copic marker that I use for no good reason. And obviously I decided to just shade random parts of this. I don't know what I was planning. I don't know what I was doing, but I did it. Day 5, I'm Leaving You. Uh-oh, a breakup. Clouds again. I don't know what it was with me with clouds, but that's what happened. And then day 6, I'm Grateful for You. This is completely different from what happened here. You know, it doesn't look that bad. It's not great. The proportions are awful. But it doesn't look that bad for someone at the time who I don't think could actually draw quarter view or side profiles. This looks a lot better. I like this one. I like her. I don't like M. I like her. She's very pretty. And this was day 7. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. It was just a pencil sketch. I never finished it. Oh, I'm not done. I Remember You. Day 8. I gave up on the sun and clouds apparently, randomly. I guess they were sending a letter, remembering a person from the past. I don't know. This is back in the day when I did this a lot in an older sketchbook from 2016 to 2018, where I would just take a whole page and only put a portrait, a singular face. I think I do that a couple more times in here, where I would just say, draw this and then call it a day. Leave the rest of it blank. I don't know why, but I just did that quite often in my sketchbooks. And I was like, oh well, I drew. That was really all I wanted to do. This side, I decided to do this more, but I did once again do a singular person on the left side. This was also in 2019. We made it to 2019. This was January 16, 2019. And this was January 15th. So obviously I stopped drawing for a long time after Inktober and resumed in 2019. And then I didn't resume again until March 2019, where I did a bunch of little faces because I was trying to get better at drawing faces. And faces was really all I really enjoyed drawing. It's still really all I enjoy drawing and painting, digitally. In terms of actual traditional painting, watercolors and acrylics and gouache, I don't actually enjoy painting people that often, but it is what it is. These two are actually based on, I think actually just this one is based on a friend of mine. I have another one. I don't remember if it's in here or not. I have another one that I did of her that she hated. I was like, oh, okay. Once again, more faces that take up the whole page, despite being only not even a fourth of the page. They are so small. I like this one a lot. I don't know why. There's something about, I think it's just her aesthetic that I like a lot. But I like her. I like her appearance. I know who this is. I remember this reference on Pinterest. I remember this reference so clearly in my head of who I was trying to draw. But very cute person, not very cute drawing. I don't know if this was just out of my brain. I think it probably was, given the nature of the illustration. But I actually kind of like this one. I obviously cannot do hair. I sucked at drawing hair. Which is funny because I used to, in this time period, I used to love drawing and shading hair. Now I cannot be bothered. It takes too long. I used to have a very detailed style digitally for shading and drawing hair, where I used to almost draw like every individual strand. It was therapeutic for me. That's also back when I used to enjoy doing line art. Not anymore. I just want to be done. I just like the rendering process, and mostly of skin and clothing, not even hair. And then we get to an even smaller pencil pencil sketch, and then a marker ink sketch that is of someone, I don't know the date of this, and it says, my art is a work in progress at the moment. And I think I might have done this loosely in calligraphy club when I was in calligraphy club. I think I was just testing out a couple of the pens that they had and was just doing that, but this was not actually me doing anything that we were supposed to be doing in calligraphy club. I think I was just testing out the different pens and markers that they had in there. And then we have these two. They're slightly bigger than the previous illustrations that I've done, or sketches that I've done in this book. This is August 26, 2019. They take up almost half the page now instead of just being small little snippets. And I quite like these because I spent more time shading them than I used to. I used to love shading with pencils. I spent a little bit more time with these and I like them. I like this one a lot. I think this one is very pretty. This one, obviously the proportions are off, but I like this one, very pretty. This is the other one. Another random person. This is not based off a reference. I obviously loved to do lawn faces back in the day. I don't know why I drew this so low. This is more centered. I think because originally it was probably just supposed to be a face, so it was in the center. Well, this was my friend once again. They hated this drawing. This is another random sketch of a person. I don't know if I was using a reference or not. I feel like I was, with the way that hand actually looks pretty decent. This one was done by a college friend, Melvin. He did this in my sketchbook, and yeah. More random faces that take up no space in my sketchbook, but then I did full page sketches of faces. Back in the day when I used to like drawing every single strand of hair. It was therapeutic for me back then. And now I can't be bothered. I think if I'm sketching it with pencil, I could, but otherwise, no. Next up, I think this is another doodle that I did, just random flowers. I wanted to do something. And then this is, I don't know when this occurred, but I can tell that this was when I started doing D&D because these three are D&D characters. So this had to have been 2023. Because I think that was the first year of Shattered Memories where these three characters are from. Sylvia, Mythica, and Kaze. I think this was like the second time I had drawn Kaze. And a very quick sketch of him because I usually spend a lot more time on his face. This makes him look very young. I usually spend a lot more time on his face because his face is the most important thing. But I like these a lot. So this was me, I guess this was like a marker test page, but this was me getting back into gouache again. This was my first gouache page. So this puts it back at like 2024, 2023. It might be the Christmas of 2023. I don't know. It's just a little cactus doodle page. And then we get to 2025, so a pretty big gap. That might have been 2024, I don't really remember, but this is a pretty big gap regardless, because this is when I started doing my swatching for my different watercolors that I got for myself while doing my watercolor journey. In August, I was really set on finding my palettes that I wanted to use for my watercolor journey, and I had those gin crafts, which I like to take with me when I'm with friends, mostly because not all of my friends, honestly, most of my friends don't really do watercolors that often and they don't really paint that often. So what I like to do is I like to bring that set because it has a lot of colors and so they don't have to worry about color mixing too much. I really like the feel of handmade watercolors. I like the consistency of them. That Gin Craft watercolor set is not as portable as I would like it to be. It's a little bit bulky, so if I need it in like a small size, I don't really have anything. So this was me in August of 2025 putting together my small watercolor sets. I have shown off in my 2025 year in review where I showed off what watercolor palettes I was using. And this is Mrs. Hand Painted on Etsy. These were the colors I got in that set. And I did a small thumbnail of what ended up being this bigger picture. Next we have the Coral set by the Flower Moon Company. This one I also like quite a bit. I was kind of surprised by the Fairywinkle and Angel shades. They were not the colors I was expecting, and nor was the coral pink kind of, but the Fairywinkle and the Angel colors were not what I was expecting at all. It kind of reversed my mind in terms of what I thought they would look like, but there's that. And then we have Naples Yellow, which is not as much of a yellow. See, it's more of a cream. In the listing, I thought it was a more bright yellow, but when you get it, it's more of a cream color, an off-white almost, I would say. And that color has grown on me a lot. That color has become one of my most used colors in that palette. It basically operates as a white because it's an off-white, basically. Then we move on to a blank page, and this is, I said this in my previous time lapse where I repainted two of my old canvases that I had done at a coffee shop with a friend, and the watercolor had faded because they were cheap watercolors that we got from Ross and they were just in the little brush pens, right? And I had said in there that this kind of stairway to heaven or gateway in the clouds sky thing that I tend to do is something that I do quite often. It has been a recurring theme in my work over the years. If I could find earlier variations of it, I would. But this is just a concept that shows up all the time. And I think I was originally going to watercolor it as a test for these two colors that I got, or these two sets that I got. It didn't actually end up happening. But like I said, this concept for whatever reason lives rent-free in my head, and I tend to redraw it. Then we get to my Poems About You watercolor set. Now these, I believe, are my ultramarines that I have, And I've mentioned this before, but this color set really grew on me. I really wanted it for the blues and this very beautiful green. But once again, I was really disappointed by the yellow because you can't even see the yellow here. It's like a white. Once again, the yellow is like a white. I don't know what it is with not being able to get a decent yellow in these color sets, but yeah, I was very disappointed in the yellow because once again, the yellow looked a lot more vibrant in the listing than it was when I finally got it. But otherwise, I love these colors a lot. Next, we go to KJ Design by Karen's Shimmers. I love these. I use these all the time. I have them right by my desk all the time because I love using them. You can tell I have obviously used the gold a lot. There are a lot of shimmers on their site that I really want to get, a lot of watercolor shimmers on their site that I really want to get because they just look so magical. They look so gorgeous. They do such an amazing job with them. Love the set. I use it all the time for accents in my paints and I like how they appear here, so that's what I did in here as well. This became my swatching set, my swatching pages for my new colors. And then we move on to this page. I think I just had some leftover paints from a painting session that I was doing. I'm not sure what it was, but I think I just had some leftover paints. And then this is my first piece in here using the Neo colors, the Caran d'Ache Neo colors. And I don't know why I decided to just do little birdies, but I think this page is cute. I like it a lot. It's a very cute, simple page. I should honestly redo this in watercolors too. What I need to experiment with the Neo colors is using water on them because I haven't really done that too much. I did it briefly, but I haven't really done it too much, so. Next up, I was practicing drawing some wings in here. I was doing a lot of wing practice the past couple of months. I really wanted to get better at drawing wings because I tend to shortcut them pretty badly. I don't take a lot of time on wings, but they're very fun for me to sketch. It's painting them that I tend to shortcut. And then we have another Caran d'Ache Neo colors just page of me just doing some small ones. I use a little bit of water on this. I don't know what I was trying to do there, but I really love this shade. I think it's indigo. I think it's a dark indigo. I really like it. Next page is a gouache painting. This is when I was trying to use my Arteza gouache, and you can see what colors I was using here. This is where I decided, because like this paper is kind of thin. Like I said, it's Strathmore Multimedia. It's kind of thin, so the paper warps a bit. That doesn't bother me. I wanted to use this side for swatching and this side for the actual painting so that I wasn't overwhelming the page too much if I were to do something on the other side. Just hearing some random clicking sounds. But I actually really like this one. I don't know why, considering these are the only colors I use. I actually really like this one. And like I said, I didn't really have white too much. The white that you do see here, I believe, is an acrylic pen. But I didn't really have white, so what I ended up using a lot of times for my highlights, or it may be my Winsor Newton white, I don't really know. What I ended up using for my highlights a lot of times was pink, this very bright pink. And I think it works really well in all of the paintings that I've done with it. I have thrown those out at this point because I have used as much as I could get out of it. And the only thing I had left was, I think, varying shades of green, which I have a lot of in my other 36 watercolor sets. So I was like, I don't really need these anymore. The colors that were fine, I really like. I really like how the pink affected this work. And then we go to more Caran d'Ache Neo colors. I really had a lot of fun with the Neo colors. I don't like this one, but I like the rest of these. I don't do anything on this side, mostly because of the transfer. Just didn't feel like working really hard on something over there and then the transferring over. I know a lot of times what you can do is put like a sheet in between it to make sure it doesn't transfer over or something like that, but I don't care enough to do that. I've had this sketchbook for 8 years. I didn't particularly care to preserve a page. More Caran d'Ache. I like this one, kind of. I'm pretty sure if you were to turn this grayscale, the rows inside would be lost because I'm pretty sure they're all the same value. And that's no good. But I like it regardless. I feel like I should have done a different shade of bluish purple. I don't remember what this color shade is, but I really like how it looked. There's the reason why I used it, because I think it looks really good with that red. It's just they wash each other out because they're the same value pretty much. But I like the colors, just not a great combination. And I don't know what compelled me to do this, but it's just some sort of magical rose happening here with pink and purple sparkles. And this is when we get to January of 2026. So we were in January for the past 2 pages because that's when I got my Caran d'Ache. It was a bit of a holiday treat for me. Another Caran d'Ache, this is a bird. I was practicing a little bit more smudging them because I don't necessarily always smudge them and blend them together. But I like this bird. I think it's cute. It's simple. This was me swatching my Kuretake Gansai paints, which you can see in a video that I posted in January where I was swatching and painting. I love the Kuretake Gansai paints. I think they look so nice. They blend so nicely together. And even though they're on the pricier side, I got mine on sale, but even though they're on the pricier side, when I run out of them, I would probably get another set again because they're so pretty. They work so nice together, and because I was doing a challenge with using yellow and green in my Arctic sketchbook, I am quite low on my lemon yellow. My greens are fine. My greens are fine. I've noticed that in these sets, they tend to give a lot of reds and greens. I've noticed that. They don't really give purples, so you gotta mix your purples. Because we only have cobalt violet down here. But for the most part, they tend to give a lot of reds and greens, which makes me feel like I need to do a red and green sketchbook, which I'm not opposed to. I love greens. I love the greens in here, but I just don't use them as much. And when I was trying to fill in that sketchbook for that yellow and green challenge, I ended up mostly using, I think, my yellows instead of my greens. So yeah, I like this page though. Not this tree. We don't talk about her. She's more of a bush. She's a bush. Another Caran d'Ache. I was practicing working on a portrait with them because I don't really do that with neocolors. Oil pastels. They're oil pastels. They're more oil pastel crayons. They're not as creamy as I was expecting them to be for oil pastels. I've never properly worked with oil pastels. I honestly like how she came out. I just winged it. I should have probably sketched this out before I did it, but I just kind of winged it. I wanted to do a bright lighting situation here. I think it kind of is conveyed. I think I could probably blend in some better. I could probably rework a couple of areas better, but for doing the first portrait with oil pastels like this, I think it came out quite nicely. I'm impressed. I have not done one since this. Then we have a bunch of just different pose sketching that I was doing one day. And this is when I remembered, oh, I have a sketchbook called Sketch that I'm supposed to be doing these in. Oh well, we'll do that again in the future. But this one is probably my favorite. More sketches. This is actually something that was used as a concept for something that occurred in Blood and Blooms, which is a campaign that I'm running with Strawberry Witch, with their character Kosh, and I was just like, I'm gonna use that. But otherwise, this kind of also looks kind of like a cover for something, or like a movie poster or something. So I don't know, but none of these characters are related as far as I know yet. She may end up being something because I like what she looks like, but there's that. And then I don't know what's happening here. This is a weird mix of Wind Waker goddess statues, Windfall, and for some reason this pearl with an eye in it. I don't know what gave way to this concept. And the hands reaching out and some sort of creature looking out from above, but I may use this concept for something in the future. sometimes random concepts that I draw in here just end up being used for other things, or not necessarily just in here, but in general, so we'll see. More sketching, my ween sketching. Like I said, I love sketching weens. I don't like painting them for some reason, and I want to just one day dedicate time to just painting weens so that I can love them as much as I love sketching them, because they're just so fun. But yeah, some weens. I quite like this one, even though I covered it up in part with that. Then I have a princess, I guess, I don't know, looking up, and hand practice, because we all know I need to do that, and some random shady man down here. Don't know. More sketching practice, with also Karen Dash in there as well. I really like this one. I think this is based on Myrthen, because she has a tattoo like this right there, so. I don't know what's happening on this side. For some reason, I decided to say Wind Waker Link instead of on the Keen of Red Lines, we got the Keen of Ducks. I don't know. I don't know what compelled me to do this. I think I'm really hoping for some Wind Waker news for the Zelda 40th anniversary. I don't know if we're going to get the kind of news I want, but I don't know. Ignore this side. But this side I like because this is a proper gouache painting in here that I really like, and I kind of want to scan it in the future and make like a print of it for myself. Some knight princess esque thing with somebody's skull on her shoulder. I don't know the story here. I don't know this character. She just came to me, but I really like her. And I really like how this came out, so maybe I'll turn her into a future D&D character. I don't know, but I really like her. I'm quite impressed with how this came out because I have always kind of shied away from painting characters with gouache and watercolors, but I forced myself to do that in that sketchbook. But I've really shied away from doing proper character art with gouache, and I've always admired artists who can do proper character illustrations with gouache. So I am very proud of myself for being able to do this and follow through and not be disappointed with the end product. Then we get to some random sketches, some random person. Don't know who this is, but that happened on this side. And this side is a bunch of roses and violets, which is a little bit out of order because this was me using leftover paints from this, which, as we know, if you watched my previous video that went out last week, this is from my 5 color palettes, 5 paintings challenge, where I asked friends to give me a bunch of, like, to give me numbers 1 through 36, 5 numbers 1 through 36, and I would pull those numbers out of my 36 gouache set and paint those colors here. So, or paint with those colors to make one final piece. And this page and this sketchbook ended up being my thumbnailing and swatching page, and any leftover paints or just me trying to get a feel for those colors was put down here. I actually really hated this when I first showed it, and I don't think it shows up very well on the sketchbook or in the camera, but there's a lot of texture in this, and that's really what I was going for because I kind of like the idea of texture. And when I do that, I'm like, I should really just do oil paints if I want texture so badly, but I don't have the patience for oil paints. They take forever to dry. I did my first oil painting 2 months ago, I think in January. I did my first oil painting and I was like, oh my god, this takes years to dry. It's finally dried, but it took like a week and a half to dry. And I don't have the patience for that. I barely have the patience for watercolor, let alone oil paints. So at least with watercolor, I can blow dry it dry. But yeah, no, this was my swatching page. This was an early concept for the final picture, which I'll pop up on the screen. But yeah, I like this. I like this. This looks more like watercolor than gouache, but I swear it's gouache. I just watered it down that much. But this previous page was me using leftover paints from this painting session with these colors. I still really love this color set. The olive green in that set is gorgeous. I love that olive green. Now we have the color set of Pikmin. They had an autumn vibe. I said that in the video, but I felt like drawing Pikmin instead, painting Pikmin instead. Wasn't in the autumn mood. But I like this, and I had to do an obligatory Kaze sketch. Very loose, very messy. Him and his wild mane of hair that he now has. Make him look truly like the ancient that he is. But yeah. Then we have this page, which I absolutely fell in love with these colors. I love these colors so much. And originally I had considered doing some sort of forest painting like this, but I ended up going with a water painting that I'll pop up. And I really loved it. Like I said, it gives Myrthen to me. It gives Myrthen. But I really love these pastel shades here that really resonated with me, and this color really resonated with me. So I like these a lot. Very pretty. I like this spread a lot. We'll have to do these colors again. That's another reason why I wanted this challenge, because I'm like, I'm gonna discover color palettes that I really love. And this is one of them. This page is the color set that I struggled the most with. Even though I had a clear concept in mind, I didn't go with it, and I talk about that in the video as well. But I also at the time did not have waterproof ink pens, so I couldn't really, I kind of blended these a little bit. But yeah, I love these colors. I just could not figure out what I wanted to do with them, which is a shame. But the spread is obviously very empty because I was obviously not feeling inspired at the time. But I really wanted to get this challenge done in a month. Originally I wanted to do it in a week. That was obviously ambitious. And then we get to my favorite one, which is this set that was given to me. And I talk about how it's pretty inspired in the video, but I really love how these colors came out, how this picture came out, how this painting came out in the end. And this is the most clear thumbnail I had in the whole thing. It's not even a thumbnail, it's kind of like a full piece here because it did not stay small. But this was like the most clear concept I had for what it was. 10 out of 10. And then we go to random pages. I really don't know what was happening in this. This was truly a random sketch page. Another Caran d'Ache of a person, no sketching involved, just freehanded it. Proportions wonky, but she's still cute. Some random flowers, and Link, Minish Cap Link, some choo-choos in their varying forms. I believe this is the Breath of the Wild, Tears of Kingdom choo-choos, and this is like Minish Cap, Wind Waker-esque choo-choos. So, or chews. I think they're just chews. I don't think they're choo-choos. And then we have the Redeads. I don't know why I drew them, but I did draw it and I like them. And then a random tree. There's a bunch of pen doodles. This is actually probably the oldest page in the sketchbook because I used the back of the page to just test out pens and markers from the beginning. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the sketchbook. Very diverse things happening in here. The ending I feel like has the most unique things in here. They're genuinely just random page of nothing. But I really enjoyed working in the sketchbook. I have not had a Strathmore since this one. I kind of forgot about Strathmore sketchbooks until I picked this back up again. Like I said, I found this randomly in my art bin, where I had a bunch of my old art sketchbooks and stuff like that. And seeing that I have now come back to art, I am glad that I was able to close out this chapter of my life, which is 8 years in the making, 2018 to 2026. And I'm really happy with this sketchbook. I don't think it shows a lot of growth per se, but I think it shows a change in direction in my art. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be having another sketchbook tour with the Arctics, whatever you call it, sketchbook that I had mentioned. It is this one, a little preview. It is significantly smaller. And this is my yellow and green sketchbook that I mentioned. And like I said, I kind of like doing my own color challenges these days, where I like to challenge myself to use specific colors more than I do, which I think I mentioned in my 5 colors, 5 paintings challenge, where I like to challenge myself with these. And it's a little bit frustrating to see that I couldn't get those colors in my other challenge, but otherwise this will be what will be happening next month. I'm a bit behind on recording these, but pretty much just been doing one sketchbook tour a month plus a bunch of other videos, so that's gonna be the trend for the time being. I hope you enjoyed this video. Look forward to the next sketchbook tour. Look forward to some other paintings that I have coming up and other projects that'll be up as well. And thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye.